Hi, what's your name?
My name is Donny Ibarra.
And can you briefly describe your life just in like giant events that have changed you or made a difference to you?
Well, I'm approaching 30 years old, and I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. I have traveled around a lot. Lived in Minnesota, lived in Florida, lived in Texas, and of course, I've lived here for a little bit of time as well. I've gone to several colleges. I've been in the military before. Um, so I got a little bit of worldly experience as far as you know, being introduced to different cultures, different lifestyles. Um, and currently, I am a full time student in the sociology department at IUPUI. And it's pretty much just go to school, go to work. I love to cook. I love to read comics and love to go to the movies. I love to hang out with friends. Pretty much like I don't know, like to. I'm kind of a little nervous. Just I don't know. I have a boyfriend. Been with for a year and 6 months, and hopefully one day we can progress to getting married. Would be nice.
Okay, and in the future, what type of profession are you looking forward to being involved in?
Um, I'm going to go for a master's in sociology. I would love to be an instructor for at a junior college level. In sociology, I would love to teach statistics, anything related to I guess what could be labeled deviant behaviors in society. I'm really interested in what's society considers not the norm, those kind of groups. Although looking at it sociologically, there really is no norm. So that's what I like to concentrate on is what makes all of us unique in society and how we've branched off into groups, subgroups, and how we interact with each other. It's pretty interesting. So I'd love to gather research, do field work on, I guess, love to people watch, love to watch societal interactions, love to, I guess, study how people do anything from voting to getting married to having sex to raising kids, taking drugs, going to the hospital, anything like that that builds society and causes it to react. I love to learn research.
All right, and if you could say anything in the past 5 years that has changed in your perspective on either life or marriage or any other type of, I guess, social influences
Mm-hmm.
in your life that you have come within the last few years of your maturity, if you could describe anything that's changed in the last, I would say even 5 to 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
just from becoming an adult and all the
Mm-hmm.
experiences that you had
Mm-hmm.
with moving to different places, different schools, and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. If there's anything that's changed you or any major events that
Yeah.
made you just have some type of epiphany.
Mm-hmm. I believe going as far back to high school, I was pretty quiet about being out sexually. Going from that attitude, I was very quiet, very reserved, kind of timid, not very confident about myself and, what I could bring to the table, I guess, as far as, scholastic work, socializing with people. I kind of led a very introverted life as far as that goes. After getting out of high school, I kind of, got into a rebellious stage. I liked, to party. I started identifying with, I guess, peers my age that were coming out of the closet, and so I thought that was, you know, the people I wanted to hang out with, and I started to slowly, I guess, get more comfortable in my skin, but I was conflicted, I think, because I feel that, when I would walk out the door, I would feel like immediately oppressed, whether it was, not just with being, not just with being gay, and choosing that, choosing to, uh, you know, anything from choosing, what you eat to, what you're wearing. So all of these things, played into on how I reacted to people. So I think that I kind of had a little bit of you know confidence issues to begin with, and I had a hard time coming out. That was a big issue for me. I came out when I was probably about 21. I decided that I was going to join the military, and I decided I needed structure in my life. I felt that maybe, I guess listening to others around me, that maybe, I wasn't a homosexual, that maybe I was just going through a phase. So I wasn't really sure. I wasn't very confident in, what I was as a person then. So I joined the military. Was in the military for a little bit of time, and I realized that I think that's when my worldviews changed on a lot of things, on politics, on my own lifestyle, and I felt that it was essential for me to come out and be comfortable with myself, because before I joined the military, I had felt really down about myself and down about being who I was, as far as my lifestyle I wanted to live. I felt that maybe there was times where I thought that I wanted to end it, because I didn't really feel that I was going to be accepted ever. And I think that's what brought me to the military, because I needed some structure, I needed some confidence. And when I got out, I realized that I could live my life as being normal and not fitting stereotypes, and just being who I was. And I think that helped me grow as a person. And so I decided to travel. I went to college out of state, and I think that taking yourself out of the place that you're raised really helps grow as a person, and really shows you other ideals that are out there, and other cultures and lifestyles that you can be a part of. And not only that, but with politics, that's a big concern. I guess in the way the feeling you feel when you're somewhere. I was living in Minnesota for a little bit of time, and it's considered a very liberal state, so I was very comfortable being there. I felt like I fit in there, more so than certain areas that I'd lived in before. So I think that I may have branched away from what I was answering, but I think that the military was definitely the strongest influence in my life and helping me grow. And then of course, going to college, you realize that you're in such a diverse setting. You're around all of these people that you can learn from each other and ask questions, and be in a setting that is safer to do this, to question. And I think that's important. As growing as a person, is to question, and because if you don't ask, you don't know. And there's a lot of misconceptions, especially with the topic that you're presenting about gay marriage. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about gays marrying, and I think that a lot of people need to ask more questions and be aware of the laws that are present now about same-sex marriages, and also be aware of the laws that exist that don't necessarily relate, but also coincide with what kinds of people can get married, and who can get married. And I hear a lot in the media and with politicians and just with people in general that if we start allowing you to do this, then you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. And it's not really like that. It's about being happy with someone else that you could spend the rest of your life with. It's not about trying to test society and say, oh, well, now I can marry this guy, and I'll get a divorce, or maybe I can marry a goat, or maybe I can do this. It's not about testing the limits. It's about doing everything that everybody else does naturally. And being gay kind of prohibits that, because you constantly have to question, how am I going to be looked at? What are people going to say? So oppression, comes from everywhere. I'm also, a mixed kid, so I grew up as a mixed kid. I'm mixed now, of course, a mixed adult. So there's that, and so there's a lot of things that shape who you are, and you get all of these oppressions from different outlets in society, and it makes it a struggle to